Hi there, my name is Drew, and if we haven't met before, welcome to ReadyBudgetGo. If this isn't your first visit, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. It's time to do my March budget, and February is going by real fast, so I have to get busy and get this month planned because I've got a lot going on. But it's not going to be an overly complicated budget. I'll talk about that more as I get into it. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. If you haven't seen me do my monthly budget before, I essentially have 5 budget sheets that I fill out each and every month. Some of them I enter in a lot of information, and others I just set up for the month. The first one that I always do is the monthly budget overview. So I'm going to get started with this, and full disclosure, whoops, as I make a mess of everything, full disclosure, I do have a completed one off here to the side that I am using as a reference, because I always want to make sure before I put anything in permanent ink that I have a solid plan. So that is off to the side. So we are planning for March of 2026. Years going by fast. And first thing I do is income. So I get 2 paychecks because I'm paid twice a month. So paycheck 1 and paycheck 2. Those will be $32.98 each. If I were paid every other week, they would be less, but because it's twice a month, it's a little bit more. And then I also get a cell phone reimbursement from my company, and that's $100 a month. So that is what I'm planning on for the month for income. That gives me a total of $6,696. There may be more that comes in as a carryover from February when the month ends, but we have to see how February will end before I can put that in here. So if I do end up with a carryover like I did from January to February, I'll just show you real quick over here. I entered it as a carryover with 0 for the plan because I wasn't planning on a carryover when I did my budget, and then I put in the amount that I brought in from January. Okay, so back to the next month budget. The next thing I need to do is fill in all the bills, and I'm going to start with rent, and that is $17.92. I will tell you right now that I do have a big remainder factored in for March. My lease ends on March 2nd, and I don't know for a fact that my rent will stay at $17.92, but that's what I'm planning for because I haven't received any notice that it's going up. So, I've got the remainder in there in case it comes up as more. We'll just have to wait and see. Next, water, sewer, garbage. And this pen keeps skipping because it's a gel pen and they do that. Okay, that is 100, or at least that's what I plan for. It's usually a bit less. Next is iCloud. This is a monthly subscription, and I've just about had it with this pen. $3, so I'm going to swap this out, and we'll use this one instead. Okay. Then on the 5th, Quantum Internet. And that will be $75. On the 6th, YouTube Premium for $16. On the 21st, HUD. That is my electric bill. I'm budgeting $60. It might be a little more just because it's winter. On the 24th, Visible, which is my cell phone plan, $35. And then I also may need Orca, which is the local transit pass card thing. $30 is what I'm going to budget. And a credit card annual fee. Of $95. Now, this credit card annual fee, I am planning on moving to a different credit card from one that I already have that's going to charge me almost $900 if I keep it. So I'm planning on downgrading to a less expensive card, and that's the annual fee there. Orca, I do have that budgeted for this month, but I don't think I'm going to use it all. I have used some of it, might need to top up in March, we'll see. I also am missing renter's insurance, which I usually have on here, but I've already paid the March premium, so it went into the February budget. So I don't have it here for March. I'll need to remember to pick that back up again for April. So that gives me a total down here of $2,206, and I should be entering these over here. So income of $66.96, bills of $22.06. Okay. Wallet spending, there are 4 Fridays in March, the 6th, the 13th, again, 20th, and 27th. And each week in March, I'm giving myself $300. Now, one of these weeks, I think it's this week, the week of the 13th, I will be in California at a conference, but I am staying behind a couple days on my own, so that will be like spending money rather than groceries, because some of those days and some of those expenses are going to be covered by my company, but I'll also have to pay for my own meals when I am on my own. Okay, so spending, wallet spend, that's $1,200, and that goes in here. Stockpiles. This is my sinking funds, and there are 5 Mondays in March, which is how I do these. So the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. And those are $100 per week. Total of $500. Savings and extra debt. So this month in February, as I'm recording this, I am doing $650 a week, and I am going to continue doing $650 a week. So that will put me real close to fully funding my emergency fund, which is the goal that I'm working on currently. In fact, it might even put me over. We'll see. Okay, so $2,600 there. And I am so grateful that I'm able to save that much every month, or this month anyway. So $2,600. And I have $190 written as a remainder, but let me just make sure, pardon my reach, that that is indeed what it works out to. So $66.96 of income, $22.06 for bills, $1,200 for wallet spend, $500 for stockpiles, and $2,600 for extra savings. $190 indeed. Okay. So that is this one done. I'm going to put that over here as a reference. Next, I'm going to fill out the cash allocation. And this is where I indicate where I want the money to go for my wallet spend and my stockpiles. So this is going to be for March, and that is 2026. So for my wallet spending, I give myself $50 in cash each week, and the remaining $250 is on card. So let's say card, cash, card, cash, card, cash, and card, and cash. Okay, so this is the 6th, the 6th, the 13th, 13th, 20th, 20th, 27th, 27th, and it is $250 in card, $50 in cash. Okay, and these numbers do vary sometimes. I've had months where I've given myself $100 in cash and $100 on credit card. It's varied over time, so I make sure I do this every month, even though it may seem kind of redundant or unnecessary to some. All right, now stockpiles. So I am doing this for essentially my sinking funds is going to be each week, but I already know what that's going to be. So what I'm going to plan are the savings and the extra debt. So that is going to be emergency fund. And we'll just ditto mark those down the page because that's the only goal I'm working on this month. And that will be the 4th, the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th, and $650 each week. Okay. So that is this sheet done. I usually don't use the totals, but they're there if anyone wants to. These sheets are available on my Etsy shop, and I believe they're also on Ko-fi. Okay, next up, the next two sheets, I just need to fill in the month and year. So March 2026. This cash flow tracker is more or less like a check register, so I just use it to keep up with my checking account. Of course, I don't know the beginning balance yet because we're still in February as I'm filming this. So that goes there. And then expense tracker. So this is where I will track all of my expenses in March. So I'm just going to fill in the month and the year, and I'm leaving this blank for when the month starts. And then last but not least, the month-end review. So this is mostly just copying in numbers from, oops, oh, I don't have my whiteout. I'll fix that later. Copying in numbers from the monthly budget overview. So that is why I keep this page out as a reference. So the income plan is $66.96. The bills, $22.06. Wallet spending, $1,200. Stockpiles, $500. Savings, $2,600. No debt payments because I have no debt. And a remainder of $190. So at the end of the month, I will go through and fill in the final numbers, what the difference was, any major reasons that contributed to the difference, if it's a big enough difference. And then I review the month with what went well, what needs improvement, and things to remember for this time next year. When I do my monthly budget and I start filling out the rough draft, I consult the previous year's budget. So I looked at March 2025 before I started filling in all the numbers for this sheet. So that is the monthly plan, short but sweet, and that is what I'll be working on for March. And if you'd like to follow along with how things go, please subscribe to the channel. I put out a weekly video every Friday called The Weekly Reel, where I go over all the money that I earned and all the money that I spent that week, at least for my personal life. I was going to fold in the business from ReadyBudgetGo, but with the move and everything else going on, I'm kicking that can down the road for a while. But for my personal budget, all of the numbers are what I share every week on Friday, so be sure to come back for that. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and until I see you in the next one, take care.